Hey guys, it's May and it's time to work on the cover of this mini album. And here's my issue. This is where you can get really cloudy and do 100 different things and you just don't know where to go with it. So here's what I suggest you do. Go through your stash and pick out some things that you really love and that you really want to incorporate. You don't have to know where you're going. You're just going to get started on this. This is kind of one of those multimedia mixed kind of things where you're just going to do what feels right as you go. You can scrap stuff. If you try something you don't like it, just don't add it. I like to make a closure, and I'm really big on like the belted style closure. I like the way they kind of wrap around. So I've got a couple ideas, and let's just get started. The first thing I want to do is, see this piece of paper? I kind of saved these pieces. There were two of these with the larger ladies on them, and I think this piece will be perfect for the front. So I'm going to cut this out with my trimmer first. Now there are lots of options here. I mean, I can use fabrics, I can use ribbons, and I'm probably going to just use a lot of all of that. Just going to incorporate a bunch of different things. Now one thing I'm going to do, because I can see some of the white paper through the side, is I'm going to ink the edges of this. Just like so. Just to kind of give that another worn look. And I know I didn't do this everywhere, but the way this is going to be on the cover, I think that will matter if I don't. And I'm not really doing anything but just catching the edge. I'm really just running it down the side just to kind of darken that edge of the paper down. And for those of you wondering, these are the ink blenders that Jane's husband Mike makes. I love them. Okay, back to the book. I really want this on the cover. I just think that is so pretty, and I don't want it straight like this. I'm kind of seeing it up here like so, but I also want something behind it, so I need to look around and see what I've got for that. So you know how I've been adding orange here and there? This is some felt, and I thought this might be cool if I use this as a mat for this piece of paper here. Here's the thing, I'm going to be using hot glue to hold these together, and the idea that I have is this album kind of has, because it was the gift bag, it kind of has this little lip in here, and I want to pick up my elements just a little bit off of that because I think like the paper elements will lay smoother. So I'm going to mat this in this orange felt so I can bring fabric to paper using this as my other media to do that. Does that make sense? We'll see how that works. If it doesn't work, we can always take it up and do something different, but let's cut this felt to fit. Alright, so this is kind of the look I'm thinking, something like this. I'm not going to adhere anything down yet, I'm just playing. And then like this. And now let me show you something else. I purchased this belt at a thrift store for $1. Do you see all these pieces? Here's what's cool. Some of you are going to cringe when I do this, but please don't worry. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to take my Tim Holtz here, and if you can see on this belt, there's like a panel right here. I want to use that panel for some project, not this one, but for a project. So I'm going to cut it away from the belt. Don't panic. So see, I have this panel, so I can use that. And I'm going to come here, and there's a, see, it was $1. And there's another panel, almost like it on this side. I'm going to cut that away. So now I have this I can use, not for this one. I'm going to use this for something else. I think this is a little bit country for this album. It's still cute. But see, now I have this I can use for a closure for something else. I'm going to put that aside. But look at this. These little pieces are all on this thing. And I bought this belt for these pieces. These are what I wanted. I thought, for $1, look how many embellishments I can get off of here. So we're going to use one of these guys. I don't need all of these, but what I want to do is have one of these in this area where a ribbon comes and wraps around. And I just think this will be super cool. So I need to decide how that's going to fit and go behind, you know, have some ribbon behind here to hold this little buckle down. Ooh, I like the way that buckle does that. Okay. So if I bring this in this area, this will go here, and I think I can wrap it back under this. Let me show you the ribbon I'm thinking. See this ribbon? It's sort of like that top there, and what I'm thinking is I will wrap it around here like so. Okay. And then I'm going to have this piece go underneath there to hold this buckle on, and then my other piece will stick through here to close the book down. Does that make sense? And I can put it anywhere. I can put it up top. I can do it sideways. No, I don't think I can do it sideways because I need it to be kind of snug. But let's just keep looking. Okay. So let's say I put this over here very haphazard, like it was just thrown on the book. And then this guy comes in this area, which I think is perfect right there to be a closure. I love that. And then we do this up. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this felt down right here because I know that's where I want it to go. Feel good about it. I'm committing, guys. I'm committing to it. I'm going to get one side down, and then I can lift it up and put more glue on the other side. Yep, I think I'm going to like this. I hope so. Like I said, we're just trying it out. If we don't like it, we can change things. I got to show you a tip one of my viewers told me. This little guy will not hold this glue stick. It always falls out. So this, I can't remember the viewer's name. I wish I could. He told me, stick a dab of glue on one end and then put it inside your hot glue gun and it will glue it together and now it ain't go anywhere. Gosh, people are geniuses. Like, why didn't I think of that, right? I don't know. I'm one of those people, I see things and go, why didn't I think of that? Okay. I love that. I love orange and burlap. I don't know what it is about that in me. I just like it. Okay, now I want to play around with this buckle a little bit. So I'm going to cut myself some of this ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and just attach this like this. Just so I can have this buckle attached on. So I'm going to put some hot glue back here. Just go ahead and sit that down together. Again, I'm using low melt. If I was using high melt, I wouldn't be able to just do that. I'd need to wait a second. Okay, so my idea is this will sit in this area, something like that, straight, see? And then this will lay on top to seal that in. I kind of like that. I'm also thinking that it might need to match over here on this side and kind of wrap around, which I'm pretty sure we can do no problem. So what I'm going to do is glue this in place. I'm clearly feeling pretty confident about this because I'm just gluing everything down. That's hot. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this here, and I don't have to really worry about it too much. I just want to make sure it's underneath this piece I'm going to put down. And we'll figure out which way we're going with that. I may even use it all the way around. I think it will be pretty, to be honest. Okay. Now, let's see. See, I like the way that looks. And now it looks like one continual piece under there. I love this buckle. It's so pretty. Alright. I'm gluing this down too. I feel good about it. And I like the use of hot glue because I think on that felt it's really going to grab well. I'm going to take all these corners. Make sure they're glued down well. Plus I'm going to put other embellishments, so that'll help too. Now what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead with this belt idea and go ahead and wrap this around. I'm going to have to tuck it. Let me do this. See how these flaps are like this? I'm going to have to literally glue this to those flaps. Like so. But I think that's going to be fine. It'll kind of have little lips on it. But I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to start here and glue this top portion down. I'm not going to be shy with the glue here either because I want it to get into both of the fibers. There we go. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, I want to do it this way. Do you see this lip I'm talking about? Okay. I'm going to glue this fabric down into that lip. This ribbon rather, which I guess is fabric. Just tuck it down and let it grab. Then I'm going to put glue here for it and just feed it across. Okay. Now I'm going to put some in this section. I'm going to tuck it and bring it up that little lip, and then we can lay it down like so and keep going. Put some here, and let's just glue it all the way across. I'm just going to do a little at a time so I know I'm getting it down good. Okay, let's turn it back over. I have all this ribbon here. And so I don't want to do anything until I know for sure what I'm going to do with the closure part. So what I want it to do is wrap in and then turn out, and I'm thinking maybe put a piece of Velcro. Let me do this. Pull this like this. Alright, so I'm wanting it to wrap in, and I don't want it to be like super tight. I'm thinking something like this because I got to fill this thing up too, right? And give myself a little gap. But I'm thinking somewhere in this area put some Velcro, and I have a plan for covering up this single-sided ribbon as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and trim this off to make it more workable because that's so much hanging off. I'm going to go ahead and trim it about here because I think that'll give me plenty. Okay. And lay it back down. Now what I'm going to do, because I don't want this to be single-sided, is I'm going to glue another piece right on top of it. Okay? That will also make it sturdier. And I'm not going to be shy with the glue. This will make it look like two pieces, and it'll make my ribbon closure really sturdy. Or to make it look like a, you know, a double-sided piece. And let's close this down. I'm sure I will trim some of that away too, so we're good. So see, now we have like a double piece of ribbon. So when I send it through here now and bring it across, you can see that it's double-sided. So I can put that Velcro piece here and have plenty of room and still trim this off in this area. Makes sense? I think I'm going to do that right there. I'm being so brave. I'm just being brave. Okay, let's get the Velcro. Now because this is going to get some wear and tear, I'm probably going to hot glue it on just to help it. I'm going to add some hot glue behind that adhesive. And I want it to be kind of in this area. And the cool thing about these Velcro strips, because they're oval, they'll go a long distance. So you have plenty of room there to, you know, Velcro it down. If you wanted to, you could just use a long straight piece of Velcro and that would work too. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to come right past, right where it clears that edge, and stick that down. Okay, now let's put it through our buckle, bring it back, and see, we just need to put the other piece here. Okay, so I'm going to peel this backer off. Put on the hot glue. Just like so. Fold this down. I'm going to squeeze it pretty good. And see, I left myself plenty of room in there to put stuff in it. Alright, I'm going to let that sit for a minute and cure. And now we have our closure. See that? And it's loose. Do you see how loose it is? That's okay. We need it to be loose. Okay? And then this will loosen up over time too as you're playing with it and loading it and things like that. Let's go in and open it and see what it looks like. Check that out. And let me show you what I meant by you'd have some room, because as long as you meet the Velcro, like even if it just meets there, you still have all that room. It's not as pretty as when it's closed, but it still works. Alright, now let's decide what we're doing on the front. I think we're getting to the really fun part, all the embellishing part, because I want to put some pretty little things around here, so let me look for that stuff and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so I have gathered up a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I feel like it's important for me to keep telling you guys that I don't do a whole lot of like shabby chic embellishing. So there's going to be a good bit of embellishment here, but not a whole lot. And I'm not going to be doing anything to the back or the side because I don't know where I'm going to display this yet. So if I find a way to display it that doesn't hinder the back or the side, then I may go back and decorate it. But really I'm going to focus on the front of the album. Okay, so first things first, I found this, the tickets from the little paper collection, and I want to do something with those. So I'm going to fussy cut these out. And when I say fussy cut, that just means that take the time to go around all the little edges, you know, and make them look like tickets. Cut these little pieces off and do all that stuff. These really aren't that fussy, but I'm going to make them look like tickets, which they are. And look at this. This is a frame that I purchased for something I was doing at Christmas last year and ended up not using this one but used a different one. And let me show you something. If I sit it on top of that picture, look. I think that looks super cool. Let me bring this up for you to see it. I think that looks really neat. So I'm going to frame that little picture out there. Okay, so I think we're ready. The first thing I want to do is decide where I'm putting this trim. I really love this trim. Do you see the little flowers? And they have the little brown pearls in them. I think this is so pretty. And I really want it kind of in this area. Let me put this frame back so I can see what I'm working with. See, I think that'll work. And then I want to bring like these guys down here with this like this. So that's kind of what I'm looking like. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I feel good about that placement. And I'm going to trim it off in a minute, but I'm going to just glue a little bit at a time. Alright, and then using my shears, I'm just going to cut this away. But I'm going to move that flower so I don't cut that flower in half. So that way it ends on a flower. And down here I think I can do the same thing. Because I think I can come in from this angle. Yep. And I could have wrapped it under, but I don't want it to compromise the underneath, you know. Now, I know this goes here, so I'm gluing it down because I think that is the perfect place for this. I just love that right there. And I think it really sets off that gold. Okay. I know I want these leaves in this area, so I'm going to glue this down. I want them to just kind of wrap up and around on that. And these leaves are from some silk flowers. I just have kind of a collection of silk flowers, and periodically I go through them when I'm doing something like this and pull them out. Now for these guys, see how they have that stem that kind of sticks up? If that gets in your way, cut it off. But I kind of want the height, so I'm actually going to use that to glue it down. I'm going to use it kind of like a dimensional piece. I like the way that looks. There's two. And I always tend to work in odd numbers. Some people like to work in even numbers, but I'm an odd number person. Or I'm just an odd person. Either way, that's about right for me. So there's that. And then these guys. What I want to do, what I'm going to attempt to do, is put these onto these little foundry clips I don't know if that's like the official name of them or what, but I know that's what they're called from Close to My Heart. And because I want it to stay, I'm going to put a dot of glue back here so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to put some glue on this stem, on this pin portion of it. And I'm going to stick it underneath the flowers. Something like that. And then where it's touching, I'm going to put a little glue behind it because I don't want it to come off. I want it to stay in that spot. And then I'm going to do another one. Just like that. And have it come out something like this. Kind of overlapping. And then I'm going to glue these two together. And then I've got one more. And I may just put it straight down. Or bring it down here. Yep, I like it down there. But I'm going to use a pen for it too. I just love these. And I've been wanting to use them forever. So, little glue. Little glue on the pen. Stick this in here. Just what I wanted. And I'm going to glue these together. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to get some of the buttons out of my new vintage haul, and I want to put some of those here. Remember the bag of buttons? And I don't know which ones. I'm going to pull some out and just play a little bit and see where they're going to go. I'm thinking it might be cute to kind of put some in the centers of the flower just for interest. I'm just going to sit that there for a minute and look. Something like that, and then put a little bling in there too. Here's a little metal one. That would be super cool. Yeah, I like the metal. Yep, I'm going to use that for a flower center. Or maybe I want to put it on a button. No, it's not flat. Look at this one. Very vintage. Can you see how it's got the black and it's a black flower inside of white or a cream? I'm going to use that right there. I love it. This one is red, but when I put it into this beige, I just like the way it looks. And I know it probably doesn't go perfect, but I'm going to use it. I love the way that button looks. Let me bring it up for you guys. And it feels like glass. It's not, but it's that old... I forget what it's called, but it is beautiful, and we're going to use it because I love it. That's another thing. When you're doing these albums, put things on it you like to look at. Then every time you look at it, you'll be like, oh, I just love this album so much. When in reality, you love the pieces on it, which I think is amazing because that's what you want to look at anyway, right? I mean, you love the album too, I'm sure. I'm so impressed by you guys that have just jumped on board and been making this at the same time. I don't know that I would be brave enough to do that. I mean, I think I might have to go, oh, let me see how this turns out. But some of you guys are like keeping up with me, and I'm so impressed by that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me too. Okay, so let's look at that together. See those buttons inside those flowers? I think those look super cool. And then maybe something here to add to bring something up. So I have this teeny tiny piece of lace left, and I'm going to use it there. And I'm going to put this button on. And what else do I want to put up there? Or do I want to use this here? Oh, look. Makes more sense there, doesn't it? Yep, I like it there. Okay, so we'll put some glue here and here. That is definitely where that needs to go. And I'll trim that off after it dries. Squish it down into that glue. Okay. And then I can put this button there. Yep, I like that too. Okay. Remember these little pearly buttons I used on the inside? I'm going to use them on these corners too. I'm just going to do them just like I did inside. Just kind of stand them up. Like so. Now this is where you can do too much or not enough. You can just kind of go crazy. Alright, another thing I want to do on this cover. Y'all know I don't do loose glitter, right? This is some close to my heart glitz. It's basically glitter glue. And I just want to come in here and rub some glitter on periodically in different places. Like on this page, maybe some in her hair. And I'm really just going to rub it just to give some sparkle. And this is kind of an iridescent, which I like because I think it goes well with this kind of Art Deco paper. Just for some sparkle. I'm going to put some on these tickets. Just willy-nilly, just because I want some sparkle here and there. And then I want to bring some sparkle into these flowers, so I'm just going to tip these. Just the very tips. You could do this with a paintbrush. If you wanted to squirt this out onto a piece of paper and then just use your paintbrush to rub this around. I've done that before too. Just think it needed a little blinging up, a little sparkle. And let's put some on the leaves. Yep, I think that needed that. Maybe some on the lace. And we'll start here. So you see how I did that portion. Then I'm going to slide it up. Have the little frame and the glitter. You might not can see the glitter so well here, but you will be able to see it in pictures. But that's it, guys. I'm calling that done because I just don't usually go too crazy. So there it is. That is the album. There are a couple of things inside that I need to finish. I'll probably do a little finish up video for those things and then do a little run through just to show you. But if you stopped right here and put your pictures in and things, you would have a beautiful, completely full album that you'll be so proud of. I appreciate you guys coming along on this journey with me. This has been a big one. I think we did it in 15 videos. So if you have questions, let me know. Once this is dry and we can go back through it, I may do a little follow-up video because my friend Dee Snow asked me a question which I thought was genius. She said, is there anything you would have done different? And I think there are some things I would do different, and I'd like to show you what those are. Not that it would hurt anything if you did it just like this, but I think there's a couple things I might think of ahead of time in the future. So thanks so much for coming on this journey, guys. I'm looking forward to doing some Christmas in July stuff before July is up, so hang around for that. And don't forget that tomorrow I'll be doing the basics of punches. That's my next basics video. And I bet you think you know everything you should know about punches because I thought I did too. But wow, have I learned a lot through my research. So be sure to check that out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.